If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. I want to give you a very simple analogy that I hope will help you understand where a narcissist is coming from as they engage with you. The analogy is this. Let's suppose that you have an immediate threat that you feel like you're in physical danger. When that comes upon you, you're going to naturally flinch. You're going to naturally wince, think, I can't let that happen. In the same psychological sense, if you feel like someone is coming after you or there's some sort of lack of safeness in front of you, you can also have that psychological flinching or that psychological wincing. And we can naturally go into a defensive posture just as we might in a physical sense. We also do it in a psychological sense. Now, one of the things that we know about narcissists is that they're pathologically defensive, which means that they do not see the world as being a safe place. I mean, even if you hint that they might have been wrong, or if you hint that there might be a rejection forthcoming toward them, they flinch. They can't stand it. It's like, no, you can't do that to me. Or certainly if they feel like there's some sort of humiliation that they might face, or if they feel like they're being deemed as irrelevant or insignificant, there's a psychological flinching that they have, and it's like, no, I can't let that happen. And so they go into a very tight sense of defensiveness regarding those kinds of matters. Now, one of the primary defensive techniques that narcissists will use is the technique of developing alternate reality. The narcissist has decided, I have to be the one who decides what is true or what is correct, because that world out there may throw some things at me, some truths or thoughts or ideas at me that aren't going to be flattering to me. But if I've already predetermined what's true and not true, then that protects me. That's part of their high defensiveness. Give you a real simple illustration. Let's suppose that you have expressed a preference that's not the same as theirs, or an interpretation, or you have some form of disagreement. Okay, in healthy relationships, you can sit down and talk with them. But in the narcissist defensive posture with this sense of alternate reality, their response is, you're insulting me, aren't you? And you're over there thinking, no, I'm not insulting you. I'm just trying to talk about something. Or they may say, you're persecuting me. You're trying to make me look bad. You're trying to harm me. You're trying to do danger to me. You're invalidating me. You're dismissing me. You're challenging my authority. And you're saying, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. We have a difference. Let's talk about it. They can't do it because anything that goes counter to who they are and what they want is deemed as not factual. Rather than it's different or it's another perspective, it's simply not factual. That's the way they deal with that's their tight defensiveness. Now, if you sit down and say, well, wait a minute, why don't we try to reason this thing out? Then you realize they can't do it. In their very, very tight defensive posture, in their fear of the world in front of them, it's like if you say, well, why don't we examine how we arrived at different conclusions? In their mind, it's like, I'm not able to do that. Or why don't we talk about what might be correct between in both your thoughts and my thoughts? They can't do that. Or if you say, well, why don't we discuss why you're feeling angry or why I'm feeling angry? Let's see if we can process our emotions. It's like, I can't do that either, because we go back, they're in that tight defensive posture. They've already predetermined before you ever showed up, my world is not a safe place. My world is out to get me. My world is going to devour me unless I can have this tight wall of defense that is around me that helps me build up and prop up myself with whatever means I have to use. Now, I want you to notice that in their concoction of this alternate reality, there are all sorts of facts that they may want to throw at you. For example, they may actually truly believe any perspective that's different from mine is clearly wrong. Now, you know and I know that that's not accurate, but that's the truth that that's the fact that they will anchor on, even though it's not factual. Or they may think to themselves, if you differ from me, you're trying to harm me, aren't you? And it's like, no, I'm not trying to do that. It's like, yes, you are. I'm the arbitrator of facts. Don't you remember that? Or your differences may indicate that you're a sick person, at least to the narcissist. Like, no, I'm not a sick person. Yes, you are. I've declared that. That's their alternate reality. Or they may come at you with the fact that your personal history is immaterial. We don't need to consider that. Or your cultural history is immaterial. We don't need to consider that. And you may be thinking, but those things are germane. And in their alternate reality, the narcissist has already declared, no, it's not. I decide what's factual and what's not. It's a fact. You're irrelevant. Or in their alternate reality, as you show yourself to be other or different, they may just conclude, you're trying to control me. And your response is, I'm not trying to control you. I just want to share my thoughts. It's like, no, the fact is you are trying to control me. That's their alternate reality there. Or in their alternate reality, they may have concluded, in any circle that I'm in, I'm the only one that makes sense. Well, a lot of people make sense, but the narcissist says, no, me, I'm the only one that makes sense. And if you have a desire for your own independent choice, which of course we all do, then the narcissist has factually determined you're being rebellious, or you're seeking retaliation, huh? So you want to seek some sort of free choice? You're coming against me. And it's like, no, freedom just simply means I want to choose. It's like, no, you're retaliating. And they've already got the facts settled in their mind regarding that. Or then if you just want to continue discussing these kinds of things with them, in their mind, the fact is you're not a good listener. In fact, no, I didn't conform to you, but it's like, no, you're not a good listener. And they have all of these kinds of thoughts and notions fixed in their mind. As far as they're concerned, it's ironclad. This is the way it is. And we go back to what I was saying a bit earlier. It's part of their defensive structure. They've concluded this is an unsafe world, and there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to make me bring my walls down to be open and exchanging with you. I don't do that. Now, in addition to their alternate reality, but part of what they do is they lie, or they're evasive, or they're secretive. And then when you try to call them out on that, it's like, no, that's not what it is. Like, well, then what is it? Well, it is the fact that the fact is, in my alternate reality, you made me do it. And so they just kind of make up things as they go along. Now, see, in your mind, or in my mind, you may ask the question, well, how hard is it to just sit down and talk with each other with mutual respect leading the way? And in their mind, the answer is impossible. I don't do that. Or can you not see that there's more than one way to look at a situation? And they've already concluded, nope, that doesn't work too well for me either, because I may come out to be the loser, when in fact, no, this is not about win-lose. And in their alternate reality, they think, yes, it is. So here we go back. They're constantly flinching against you, any hint of their insignificance. But what they can't do is they can't say, well, here's what the real truth is. The real truth is I'm confused. Or the real truth is I have lots of internal turmoil that I've not come to terms with yet, and I know that it's being played out right here in your presence. Or the real truth is I'm deeply insecure. Or the real truth is I have lots of anger issues that I'm displacing onto you. They can't say any of that because their alternate reality says, no, I have to be the final arbitrator. I have to be the one who determines any and all truths. You don't have a say in that. So they take you into their black and white thinking, and they know that you're incorrect before you even say anything that might be contrary. And so your task is to see the deeply embedded fear and insecurity that's truly driving these people. And you want to recognize these are very wounded people. And these are individuals who have such poor insight and awareness because that wall of defense that they've built is so thick and impenetrable. And so as you engage with them with their alternate reality, your position then is to nonetheless stand in what you know to be wise and best anyway, knowing that they think it's true, it's factual, it's real, that you're an idiot. And it's like, well, I know differently, but I'm not going to convince that person. And then you move on knowing this is not a person that I'm going to have any meaningful relationship with. Having healthy relationships starts with being honest. They can't do that. Their alternate reality won't allow it. And I hope that videos such as this will kind of give you a good idea of what you're dealing with. That's why we call it surviving narcissism. If you've not already hit the subscribe button, I would strongly encourage you to do so and hit that notification bell that goes along with it. If you have a need for counseling and you may have a desire to have somebody help you unpack this, if there's a therapist in your area, I would encourage you to do so and take advantage of that. Or if you would prefer otherwise, we have a link with one of our sponsors that would take you to a whole team of licensed professional experienced counselors. And if that's something you would do, I would strongly encourage you to do that. And like I say, there's a link below for that. In addition, we have our courses. Now, we also have our webinars, and that's something I would encourage you to look into. But our courses go much deeper. There are multiple videos per course with teaching instructions along with each video, and then questions that go along with that. That's meant to be a therapeutic exercise for you of a very strong nature. Also, we have other medias that we're on and books and all that you can look into to help you out. And we have plenty of resources below, so I would encourage you to look into that. Alternate reality is a bear because when you're watching these people and you're seeing that they just can't be spoken with, they can't be reasoned with, it is true that they don't understand truth. And so that being the case, you need to go ahead and stay with what you know is appropriate. And in doing so, you remain steady despite their unsteadiness, because I'm hoping it can take you to a place of peace. Kind of like Gus back there. He's chill. I want you to be chill. I want you to be at a place of peace. And in doing so, that other individual is not going to rob you of that.